Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking the top 10 best point guards in the game, including gambling-only cards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 25,000 subscriber mark. On the channel, I upload every single day, tons of consistent daily MyTEAM content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe, and without further ado, let's hop right into it. This is, obviously, like I said, including gambling point cards. Got some good non-gambling point cards on it as well, obviously, but it does include a lot of cards that you can only get through packs, and so I apologize for those of y'all who do not like that, but I did do a video on just top 10 non-gambling at the point guard position yesterday, and obviously top 10 non-gambling shooting guards will be coming out at some point today as well. So with that being said, without further ado, I guess let's hop right into it. Let's start off with this list. At number 10, I am going to go with James Harden, the level 44 last season. Harden is a very good, very fun offensive card. This is actually the wrong Harden. The Pro Pass version is the one that I'm thinking of. But the thing about Harden is the lack of defense on this card is a little concerning. It's definitely his biggest flaw is just the fact that, I mean, he's just not a very good defender. Hall of Fame badge-wise, especially defensively, just not that exceptional. Statistically, he's kind of average. I don't know. He's not an exceptional top-tier defender, and that's okay. But when you compare him to the very best of the best, in my opinion, that's really important. And there are a lot of elite offensive cards out here, and him not having the defensive capability to really guard these guys at a high level does bother me, despite him being a phenomenal offensive card and just overall a really good, really fun point guard. For me personally, his inability to defend at a high level at all does hold him back, like I said. Number 9 is going to be a guy like Alex Caruso, and yes, I understand Alex Caruso, it does not move the needle offensively the same way that James Harden does, but that's kind of okay, because the thing about Caruso is he's the same size as Harden, but he's way more versatile as a defender. He's more athletic, even with half fast twitch, precision dunker, and posterizer, 95 driving dunk. He still has half age and 3 catch and shoot limitless, still has decent playmaking, but he's an elite defender with half anchor, clamps, glove, interceptor, pick dodger, post lockdown, right to gripper, even gold and movable enforcer as well. And obviously his defensive stats even are a lot better as well. So as a whole, he's just a better overall card and more versatile, I think, than a guy like Harden. And I know people disagree with me about these types of takes sometimes. I think defense matters a lot in this game, and a guy like Caruso is just going to compete at a much higher level defensively than what you're going to get out of James Harden. Not to mention he's got a pretty good release, MJ dribble style, steps behind the back. Like, there is actually a lot to like about this Caruso card as an overall PG option. I'm a big fan of him. And yeah, I think number 9 is pretty first spot for him among the gambling cards. Number 8 is going to be Penny Hardaway. Penny is really good, but I will say he doesn't quite, I don't feel like, give me the eliteness of like a Cade or Alonzo, who will be later on this list. A really good all-around statistical card with very complete badges, versatile, good defender. No immovable enforcer though on the defensive end. I mean, that hurts a little bit. You'd like to see that badge on. I will say also his release is not that great, and also normal fade is not that top tier either. He does have tray escape. I think he's got a pretty decent behind the back. MJ dribble style is good. He's a good card, but he's missing a couple of things compared to like the best of the best point guards. I wish his fade was a little bit better, maybe. His standstill release also is not insane. It's not an elite level release, and it's only on quick, not very quick. Like, this Penny Hardaway card is fine, no doubt about it. He's very good at the point guard position, super complete, does a lot of things well. I just think there's several gambling only point guards that you can get that are better than him, and that includes Jason Kidd, who technically is not a gambling only point guard anymore, because you could get him for free from a locker code that dropped last week, which if you have not done that yet, make sure you go type that locker code in. I made a video on all of that specifically if you are looking for that information. But 98 speed Nick Sal, 92 3 ball, 85 driving dunk, defensively very good. Doesn't quite have the athleticism of Penny, but still a very good shooter with half age of 3 and limitless range. Elite level playmaking, and most importantly, elite level defense. Has that half immovable as well. Sorry, gold immovable. Better SIGs than Penny has, better fade than Penny has. In my opinion, a slightly better release than Penny has. I understand he's a few inches shorter than Penny Hardaway, but to me, Penny is definitely not quite as good as Kidd, because Kidd, I think, has better animations, a better fade, better SIGs, and honestly, slightly better stats and badges in certain areas as well. Overall, big fan of that J Kidd card. I think he holds it down at a high level at point guard and now is free, so that is pretty cool. Number 6, I cannot read my own handwriting. I can read my own handwriting. That says Dwayne Wade. I wasn't sure what that said at first, but Dwayne Wade, honestly, he's basically J Kidd with a better slashing ability, I think, and slightly better stats and badges, I think. That's basically how I would describe this D Wade card. Very good card. Does a lot of things well. Only 6'4" point guard. He does not have a movable enforcer, and that does kind of bother me, and it's kind of something that almost makes me like want to put Kidd and Alex Caruso over him. But I think athletically he's really good. Of course. I mean, shooting-wise is honestly very good as well. And then SIGs-wise, he moves really, really well. He's got tray escape, MJ dribble style, really good behind the back. He's got legit movement ability, Pro 2, fade, and a very quick release, which is admittedly not the best release in the game, but still. I do actually think D Wade is a really, really good point guard. And yes, missing that immovable enforcer badge does kind of matter, especially at only 6'4". And I will say, not even his catch and shoot release is not that insane. So there are things you can critique with Wade for sure, but to me, I still think he's one of the better PGs. If you wanted to swap him down a couple spots, I wouldn't blame you, but I think a couple spots higher at number 6 feels pretty fair. Number 5 is going to be Austin Reeves, AR-15. This man is just one of the best offensive cards in the game. I think his Pro 2 fade is the best Pro 2 in my team. He's basically a better Devin Booker. Not the most elite slasher in the world, but definitely an incredible offensive card with an amazing release, really good SIGs as well, and just great shot creation ability all the way around. Defensively, though, he also holds his own. He's got half clamps, half glove, half off-ball pest, some defensive versatility. He doesn't have a movable enforcer, but I think movement-wise, he's one of the best guys on this list. Definitely has one of the best releases on this list, and also his Pro 2 fade, like I said, I think is one of the smoothest and easiest Pro 2 fades I have used. I think maybe it's the easiest. I don't know. Combined with that, his upper with Pro 2 fade just works so well, and at least for such an easy fade to time, and just overall such a good card. Austin Reeves looks phenomenal. I really did like him a lot. He's not in my lineup anymore, but I do think he's a really, really good card and still one of the top PGs in my team. Number 4 is going to be Lonzo. The thing that Lonzo gives you is size and defense combined. Also has the Pro 2 fade and D-Book dribble style, but besides that, I will admit his SIGs are not great. But again, I don't think that's that big of a deal when you're as good of a defender as he is at 6'6" with legit size, a good player build that definitely, I mean, he's bigger than everybody else on this list except for a couple guys in my opinion. And then defensively, he's one of the best defenders on this list, does have gold and movable enforcer, amazing stats, still a very good shooter with Hoff Limitless, still has legit playmaking ability, still a very good slasher. He's honestly a lot like an Alex Caruso, but he's a couple inches taller, and I think honestly with that Pro 2 fade, I think he's got a little bit better shot creation ability between that fade, between the D-Book dribble style, has a good safe side, has all that type of stuff. Like, I don't know, Lonzo's really, really good. Mostly for his defensive ability, but offensively the card is really capable as well, and I do think overall number 4 is probably a pretty fair spot for him. Number 3 is Cade Cunningham. Cade is just tray escape at 6'7" at the point guard position, really big player build, just a great defender, does a lot of things well on the point guard spot. The one thing that Cade does not have is a good fade. Cade's fade is bad, and you have to keep that in mind with him if you are going to use him at a high level, is that you just really realistically can't fade with him unless you're wide open, and even then I wouldn't say it's the greatest shot to shoot by any means because the animation just isn't very good. But outside of that, Cade Cunningham is about as good as he gets the point guard position in pretty much every other area. Great finishing with post-driver precision dunk on Hoff and a 95 driving dunk. Elite shooting, elite playmaking, and defensively he's very good. Holds it down at a high level as well. Even without a movable enforcer at 6'7", got great size. I just think his animations are really nice too. Great release, great movement, great SIGs. Just a great card. Really, really good all-around option at the PG spot at number 3. Number 2 is going to be Gilbert Arenas. A non-gambling point guard is at number 2, and actually a non-gambling point guard is at number 1 too. Y'all probably know who that is going to be. We'll get there in just a second. But Agent Zero, 6'4" to 6'9" wingspan. Number 1. Stat and badge-wise, he's as complete as any point guard in my team. He's got Hoff, movable enforcer, anchor, and post lockdown to go with all the perimeter badges that you would want. Absolutely defends his butt off, especially, I mean, 6'4" is not that small at the point guard position right now. It's not like very many people have super tall point guards in their lineup, so I don't think that's quote-unquote lack of size matters. His release might be the best release of anybody on this list, and his SIGs are also top tier. Jamal Murray behind the back, Kemba's escape, Harden's drag back isn't bad at all either. Overall, very good SIGs. The one critique, I guess, is that the normal fade is not as good as Pro 2, but when you are this complete stat and badge-wise, as well as this complete in terms of your dribble SIGs and elite release, all that type of stuff, does it really matter that much? Honestly, the answer is no. So, as a whole, I think this card is absolutely phenomenal. Agent Zero I think he's the second best point guard in the game, and I think he's an absolute dog. But number 1 is Shea. Shea has everything. He is an elite defender. He's got really good size at point guard. He's 6'6". He's got a great release. He really does everything. His fade is phenomenal. His defense is phenomenal. He's even got, I think he's got Hoff movable. He does not his gold immovable, but he's got 94 feet anchor, clamps fast feet, glove rights, true grouper. Incredible defensive batters. He's super athletic, an elite shooter, an elite playmaker. He is an incredible card. And the top tier fade, top tier SIGs, top tier everything really is kind of the cherry on top for this card. And he's just an absolutely phenomenal option. I do think relatively easily the best point guard in the game. As much as I do like John Wall and do think John Wall is a really good card. Sorry, Gilbert Arenas. I do think Gilbert Arenas is a really good card. It's just hard for me to not put SGA as very clearly the best point guard in the game. I think it's honestly not that close right now. So definitely a must grind card for level 40. But with that being said, that is going to do it for today's ranking video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.